Very often, we must be cryptic in our speech so we can fly under the radar. Many ancient civilizations told stories and so-called myths in veiled terms and riddles. Sometimes it was to get a would-be soul traveler, someone studying to be an adept, to go within and experience a deeper truth after the mystery was solved. But very often it was done for a much darker and practical reason. Very often it was done in order to hide in plain sight, so that the powers that be of any era in time would not be alerted of the rebellious thoughts of the practitioners. Rebellious thoughts. Thoughts are things that occur silently in your mind that maybe you haven't told anyone about, including yourself. But there are those who would silence you. Control the speech, and you control the thoughts. Control the thoughts, and you control the behavior. Control the behavior, and you control the world. So I wrote this in 2022, just 2 years ago, during the malady, which must not be mentioned, during the ailment, which must not be alluded to, during the infirmity, about which we must not be informed. So we were told, and punishment was swift and often extreme, and I myself paid quite a price for my freedom of thought and refusal to conform. And I did not conform, but no matter. I would pay it again if I had to. It's a secret. You can't tell anyone. But let's tell a story about it instead. Let's make a riddle. Let's play a game. We'll take the illness which must not be named, and we will make a parable, a myth, a legend, a veiled truth. If the secret is understood, it will grant enlightenment. If the secret is not understood, it will remain locked and will be just a fable. And perhaps, just perhaps, we might have the tiniest bit of revenge. Best served cold, of course. And it goes like this. I saw you down by the river with the old washerwoman, the old Banshee who wails and cries in despair as she washes the stains from the clothes of those about to die. I hid at the edge of the woods and I saw you. The Banshee dips the rags in the water, beating them against the rocks beneath, hoping to wash away the blood. They say when you hear her scream, you know death is near. I saw you. And why were you down by the river with the old Banshee? Did you come to herald your own doom? To take a brush with death? Unlikely. I know who you are. You are one of the safe people who do as you are told, never seeing the marionette strings, indeed avoiding them, because the knowledge of their existence is too painful. You are one of the unconscious enforcers of the world wreckers, one of the useful idiots. I see the stains from your behavior, the filth you wish now to wash away. Like the old washerwoman, you dip your clothes into the river, and you hope no one will see what you have done. And maybe your conscience will be clear and clean again. Ah, but it's everywhere, isn't it? The stains are everywhere. How will you hide your involvement? Late at night, Lady Macbeth, tormented by her guilt, sleepwalked and rubbed her hands together as she aimlessly wandered the castle, a wraith sliding about the cold halls of the prison of her own mind. She tried to wash clean the blood of Duncan, as her conscience was soaked in it, and she screamed nightly at the horror of what she had done, of what she had become. "What, will these hands ne'er be clean? Out, damn spot!" But it was useless, because deep inside, eventually, we all have to face our own behavior, and for some, there aren't enough rivers in the world to wash away the stains. I saw her down at the river with the old washerwoman, walking in procession, a pilgrimage of futility. But still they dipped the rags in the water, hoping to wash away the stains, the blood, trying to escape their karma, change the course of their self-inflicted fatal wounds. And I saw you with them, carrying your own rags, crying and wailing and beating your chest. Will your hands ne'er be clean? By day you walk in the chains you have chosen. Oh, the smiles, the soft, deceitful wiles. Oh, how you sacrifice yourself for the causes of the world wreckers. And you think to yourself, "See what I do for you. See how selfless I am. I am out here suffering for your benefit." Careful, little moth. You are too close to the flame. Fly on to the next twisted cause, and find the next vessel filled with the nectar of fear. And then by night you trudge with the Banshee, walking in tandem with Lady Macbeth. "Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!" they yelled during the plague of the Middle Ages. Another contrived plague, because nothing is as it seems, that they might wash their hands from their involvement, that they might lift the stain from their countenance, that they might empty the pools of blood from their conscience. Oh, he with ears, let him hear. And that is the end of the story. Some of you will understand this. Some of you will not. Some of you will love me. Some of you will not. This is a copper engraving by Gerhard Olzenbach of a plague doctor in the 1600s in Rome, which he called a costume against death. He is wearing a sort of protective gear to keep himself safe from the great unwashed. The thought in those days was that mass illnesses were due to a foul odor, an unholy kind of air that came from the rotting flesh of those already dead. Fogs, too, were thought to bring on plagues, and, as you know, a fog can easily hide what someone is doing, sometimes right before your eyes. How interesting. The miasma. Self-flagellation or self-whipping was often practiced as a way to drive away illnesses. When a person became too sick or exhausted to whip himself, there were other professional whippers, or the plague doctor himself would do it for him. Virtue signalers, oh, you who suffer so for the good of others, oh, whip, whip, whip. The social and economic upheavals of the bubonic plague in the Middle Ages cannot be overstated. Everything was changed and reset. And Europe, so bright, so beautiful, so forward-moving and forward-thinking, was changed forever. The good doctor, you see, was not there to heal or cure or help or comfort. On the contrary, he often made things worse, poking and prodding and singing the praises of poison. His purpose was to record the number of deaths and the manner in which they occurred. This was for posterity, for the world wreckers, whose hands are never clean, and who to this day, indeed to this moment, still proclaim, "Bring out your dead, bring out your dead." Look at him. Does he look familiar to you? Remember him. Nothing is as it seems. Nothing